You can provide anonymously is to be received through either the Bloomington Police Department or through the America's Most Wanted tip line. There will be no taping, so you can feel free to give us anything that you know, and if it leads to us finding Lauren, you'll get the reward.
On June 3rd of 2011, during the early hours of the morning, a 20-year-old sophomore at Indiana University in Bloomington vanishes. She was out celebrating the end of the semester with 4 friends, moving from party to party, and eventually heading home, where she is no longer seen or heard from. The 20-year-old sophomore is Lauren Spierer. Lauren was born to Charlene and Robert Spierer on January 17, 1991. As her father was an accountant, she grew up in Scarsdale, New York, an affluent town in Lower Westchester County. When she graduated high school, Lauren decided to major in fashion merchandising. The young lady had plans of heading to New York for an internship at Anthropology, however, never got a chance to do so. Lauren was very active in the Jewish community at Indiana University and had spent her previous spring break planting trees in Israel on behalf of the Jewish National Fund. At the time of her disappearance, Lauren had been in a relationship with Jesse Wolfe, who she met years earlier at a summer camp in Pennsylvania. She also met Jay Rosenbaum, a friend who was with her the morning she vanished. It all starts when Lauren invites her friends over to her small apartment in Smallwood Plaza of downtown Bloomington to watch the NBA playoffs. The friends drink wine while over at Lauren's apartment, but then decide to head outside to continue the fun. Lauren leaves her apartment around 12 a.m. with David Ron, who had been hanging out at the apartment with her. She heads over to Jay Rosenbaum's apartment for a house party, where she met up with Corey Rossman, Jay's neighbor. Her boyfriend Jesse is not accompanying her tonight, along with David Ron, as she goes party hopping with her other male friends. After Jay's party, Lauren and Corey move along to a nearby sports bar called Kilroy's around 1:30 a.m. The two arrive at the bar at 1:46 a.m., where Lauren is let in via her fake ID and stay for a total of 41 minutes before leaving for Smallwood Plaza, close to Lauren's apartment. Lauren is now intoxicated and forgets her cell phone and shoes at the bar when she took them off while walking out on the sand-covered patio. Corey and Lauren finally make it back to Smallwood Plaza around 2:30 a.m., where Corey is confronted with a group of young men who initiate a series of attacks on Corey. He is hit in the head, and the men split his lip, affecting his memory of the moments around the encounter. After the encounter, the two continue walking to Corey's home. They arrive at the apartment where Corey's roommate, Michael Beth, escorts Corey to bed, as he was very intoxicated to the point he even vomited on the carpet. He also tries to get Lauren to stay at their apartment for her safety, but Lauren insists on returning back to her apartment to sleep. Instead of leaving Lauren to return on her own, he phones his neighbor and Lauren's friend, Jay, asking him to take care of Lauren. As Michael attempts to get Lauren home, she persistently tries to get him to drink with her over at her own apartment. He refuses, and she eventually goes over to Jay's apartment. And when she gets there, he notices a bruise under her eye and questions her about it. Lauren doesn't know where the bruise came from, as she is asked about it. She makes a phone call to David Ron and one other friend from Jay's phone, according to him. She leaves around 4:30 a.m. to her own apartment, but is last seen at an intersection by Jay and never heard from again. Several hours later, Jesse, Lauren's boyfriend, texts her and receives a reply from an employee at the bar, subsequently reporting her as missing. As soon as Lauren's parents lose all contact with their daughter, they arrive in Bloomington on June 4th, and a social media search begins on June 5th. A woman with no connection to the Spieers learns of Lauren's disappearance and starts a Twitter feed at News on Lawrence. Within 2 weeks, the page had over 20,000 followers and earned retweets from Kim Kardashian, American Idol host Ryan Seacrest, and Scott Baio. Despite these retweets, it did nothing to move the case forward, It brought a lot of attention, so more people can be on the lookout for the young blonde. The ground search begins on the 6th of June, and hundreds of volunteers begin the ritual of 3 daily searches for Lauren. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children learns of Spierer's disappearance and dispatches a rapid response team to Bloomington, and the organization assigns a missing persons number for Lauren, number 117-3375. On June 7th, the Bloomington Police Department executes a search warrant at Lauren's apartment, seeking security footage. Nothing peculiar is found, but a tip comes in on the 8th involving Lake Monroe, and police divers search the lake. The day following, the Spieers offer $100,000 for any information on their missing daughter, and so information came flowing in. However, none of them led to any suspects in the case. Divers finish up their search, and nothing is found. Suddenly, on the 10th of June, police announced that they now have 10 persons of interest, including Corey Rossman, who was with Lauren the night she disappeared. Corey and his roommate Michael Beth submit to DNA test, but not much information is given about the individuals. Meanwhile, Corey is a person of interest. It validated Spierer's parents' feeling like the friend she was with that night knew more than what they let on, and was solidified as the guys had lured up pretty quickly. Though investigators are now taking a closer look at the friends, they're still not suspects in the case. Jesse Wolfe, Lauren's boyfriend, tells police that during the morning that his girlfriend went missing, he was at home. However, police can neither prove or disprove his alibi. The search continues for the missing 20-year-old. However, they are reduced from 3 searches per day to 2 searches per day. And even so, there is nothing coming from these searches until there is surveillance video of a white truck. Around the time that Lauren is last seen, surveillance footage show that a white truck had been passing within 10 minutes of Lauren leaving Jay's apartment on her way home. This is released to the public, leading to countless theories and over 1,000 tips. The white truck is found and is scoured for any evidence, but nothing turns up. The owner was actually on his way that morning to pick up an employee for his business, and so it was revealed that the white truck had no ties to the case. As the weeks go by, the search for Lauren slowly decreases, and what was over 1,000 individuals showing up for the day's regular search now turned to fewer than 50 people searching for Lauren. Exactly 1 month later, a decomposed body is found in Indianapolis, Fall Creek, and so the Indianapolis Police Department contacts the Bloomington Police. However, 2 days later, an autopsy revealed that the body was that of an unidentified black girl who had been in the creek for almost 2.5 weeks. With the case going nowhere, almost 2 months later, police refuse to give up and holds another search for Lauren. This time, it is a 9-day search of the Sycamore Ridge landfill in Pimento for any clues in the disappearance. Bloomington Police, the Indiana University Police Department, the FBI, and a search expert from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children get involved. After 9 days sorting through 4,100 tons of trash, they find nothing. During the case, multiple decomposed bodies are found and investigated to see if it was in fact Lauren. However, none of these bodies found was Lauren. In September, another body is found, but the next day, Bloomington police say it's not Lauren. In October, about 4 hours away from where Lauren disappeared, a body is also found in a field, but once again, police confirms that this is not Lauren. In April 2012, a body is found, and police announces to the public that they are awaiting DNA test results, but the connection ends when a coroner determines the body is that of a male. Investigation continued throughout the years. However, no leads or suspects are determined. However, in 2015, the Bloomington Police Department announced that they are investigating a link between Lauren's disappearance and the murder of another Indiana University student, Hannah Wilson. Hannah Wilson went missing on April 24, 2015, after visiting Kilroy's, the same bar Lauren visited the night she vanished. Hannah Wilson was last seen getting into a taxi in front of the bar and driving away. The police arrest a man by the name of Daniel Massell, whose cell phone was discovered near Hannah's body. Now, the details of the case seem quite familiar to that of Lauren's disappearance, given that they were both Indiana Uni students and both had visited the bar. Police take a closer look at the man for Lauren's case. Now, another IU student had come forward to authorities that she had escaped from a man driving a sport utility vehicle who tried to sexually assault her in November of 2012. She accepted a ride from the man after being out late drinking in downtown Bloomington. Her statement says, "He grabbed my neck from the back and suggested I perform oral. He put my face in his lap. His pants were unzipped and I bucked my head up, and he slammed my head against the steering wheel and the dashboard multiple times," she said. "I did not know what to do. I jumped out of the car, he sped away, and I crawled to the side of the road." The Bloomington Police Department questioned Miss Sell about the assault, but the 18-year-old couldn't describe her attacker or identify him as her assailant, and so police could not charge him due to the lack of evidence. According to police, they believe that Miss Sell is the perpetrator in several of the university attacks and disappearances. It was usually around 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. where vulnerable, intoxicated girls in downtown Bloomington would report being harassed, and in Hannah Wilson's case, go missing and show up dead. Although in the beginning, Massell was showing to be a promising lead because of his pattern, he was never charged for Lauren's disappearance, and it isn't clear whether or not he is a suspect in the case. In 2016, almost 5 years since Lauren vanished, the FBI and other police agencies go ahead and investigate a property in Martinsville, approximately 20 miles north of Bloomington. Investigators had a lead in Morgan County and was doing everything they can to see where this tip took the case. The property belonged to a man, Justin Wagers, who resided at the property with his mother and stepfather. Investigators searched the property with cadaver dogs, which indicated potential evidence. Anthropologist conducts a dig, sifting dirt from the barn where the cadaver dogs hit, but finds nothing. There are a few theories in the case that persons have shared throughout the years. Most people believe that Lauren may have suffered an accidental overdose. Her friends and Wolf told police that she used drugs in addition to alcohol on the night leading up to her disappearance. Wolf's mother alleged that Spierer was asked to leave summer camp where she met her son and Rosenbaum years earlier because of drug use. On September 2, 2010, 9 months before her disappearance, Spierer was arrested on charges of public intoxication and illegal consumption. After her disappearance, police found a small amount of cocaine in her room. Another theory is that Lauren was abducted by a stranger. However, her parents refused to believe it was a random abduction. Up to date, police have not found any suspect, leads, or remains of Lauren, but are still working to bring the case to an end and locate the person who is responsible for Lauren's vanishing.